and welcome to my shop. Well, today I don't know exactly what to do. It's May the 1st, Thursday, and I want to release a video today. I might show you how I did these plugs for my cradle, which is the project which, well, kind of blocks my small shop here. But I do something better. As well as Mother's Day is coming up, I want to make up a picture frame, and I want to use acrylic glass, also known as Plexiglas. And I show you how I work this, and I'll talk about how I work this plexiglass. And as I want to have the edges exposed at the end, I'll show you how to polish these edges. Well, first of all, this plexiglass, you can work it like wood. You just have to know the feed rate you are using on your tools. Well, either it's a drill press or a router or a table saw or a bandsaw. You have to have a very slow feed rate to prevent the chip outs. And if you're using blades like these, riv cut blades, well, you have to go that slow that it starts up burning. So it's better to use cross-cut blades like these. And what I've got installed at the moment, it's a kind of multi-purpose blade, which is something in between these. And I know, well, this multi-purpose blade is working. Okay, for using it on a drill press, I recommend these breadpoint bits, because these start the hole not in the middle, not in the center of the hole, but they start the actual rim of the hole at the outside by cutting first, like Forstner bits. And the breadpoint is just for alignment, and this doesn't matter because it's inside the hole and the middle of the hole is gone. And so you use these breadpoint bits instead of a normal bit, and you'll have a perfect hole in the end. Well, to drill it on a drill press, you have to have a backup board, and I use the same material as the one almost the same, because this is plexiglass and this is Makrolon. Well, the differences between plexiglass and Makrolon, well, they are both trade names, but there is a difference in handling. You see that when I polish the edge. But you have to have the same material as a backup board as you are using on the top. So now I just go ahead and do the first cut on my table saw, and after that I'll show you how I polish the edge, and well, that's all. And well, be surprised about my method of polishing. Sorry, before I start cutting, I have to mention something. Well, I'm not the guy, not one of these safety guys, but working with plexiglass is a little different from working wood. So the first thing, you have to have your safety glasses or a face shield, and you have to have some kind of breathing protection. It hasn't to be as fancy as this one, just these normal paper things are enough, but this is more comfortable for me, what I think. Because the dust is, other than the wood dust, well, it's more aggressive. So you have to, whenever you work plexiglass, you have to have some kind of breathing protection. And well, of course, for the noise, your hearing protection are well, highly recommended. Otherwise you won't hear after half a year, you won't hear anybody singing outside, well, or the birds, like on this beautiful spring morning today. Okay, now I go on and just show you how I cut this. Well, if you're using the table saw like I do, you want to set up the blade as normal, just teeth above the cutting height you actually want to achieve. Don't raise the blade too high, because this will give too much pressure, down pressure. And the next thing, a zero clearance insert is, well, not necessary, but if you're using one, use one not homemade out of wood, but like this one here, homemade out of plastic, because you don't want to get the actual cutting edge I don't know the right word, infected with wood. So you don't want to burn wooden sawdust into the edge of the plexiglass. Otherwise you can't polish the edge at the end. Okay, so I put on my safety gear and we're ready to go. This looks funny, but it's worth. Okay, here we go. And this is the edge I just cut it. And I'm gonna show you a close-up on here. Okay, with this cut done, and you see the result over here, it's time to head over to the workbench, because now you have to use some sandpaper to clean off the marks. And I'm starting at, well, I think 120, and work my way up to 400 or 320. I think 320 is enough for the next procedure. So just come along over to my workbench, which is cluttered at the moment, but I'll find a space to show you what I do. Okay, this is what I do. I'm gonna start at 120 grit sandpaper, which is over here, and I'm gonna end up on 320. This is 240. This is 320. I'm gonna end up on 320, and well, while doing these edges, it's important to stay flat to the cutting surface. The best way to do this is use a hard block like this, not a soft cork block like I normally use on wood. And well, just guide it with your fingers and run it over the edge. And it's the same as if you are sanding wood. Just sand on until you get rid of the saw marks, or the marks of your tools, and just go on. And now just follow me. Well, one very important thing: leave the cover, this protective material, on until you come up to the last step, because you don't want to scratch the surface. You can't get rid of it very easy. Okay, now I do it, and you'll come back when I finished up with my 320. Okay, one important thing in between as I switch over to 180, well, you don't want to use a whole sheet like this one here. Just grab a piece of wood and wrap a small piece of sandpaper around. Never ever use sandpaper you've used on wood before, because you don't want to infect the small, you don't want to get the wooden sawdust into the small scratches you are producing here, because otherwise you can't polish it at the end. So I go on and do this with the 180. Don't do this with a lot of pressure, and take your time on that, because you don't want to burn this edge. Well, whenever you come up to the to your last grid of sandpaper, you want to cut the edge just by putting a little chamfer on it. You won't see it, but well, this chamfer is important now for the next step. Therefore, I just peel off a little of the protecting material and run the sandpaper at about a 45. Well, a couple of times over the edge. So just knock off the edge so it's not that sharp. Okay, here we go. Now that you've got a lot of sawdust on there and you want to get rid of that, never ever use alcohol on the edge. Whether it's dehydrated alcohol or pure alcohol, never ever use alcohol or any solvent on here. Just use water. Well, the easiest way, just lick over your finger and clean the sawdust off. Here we go. That's it. Okay, now the heat is on, and you should get something like this. This is called, well, a pencil torch. It got a very clean but high temperature flame. It's these blue flames. These blue flames are well, hotter than the yellow flame of, well, a lighter. If you have a lighter or a candle, well, this flame is cooler than this one, and you have to have a blue flame. Well, this is an old one. I got this for, well, I don't know, $2 maybe at a dollar store, but it does its trick, and I'm gonna show you how I do this now. Okay, going over it on a no second time, that's it. So a few spots. Prepare these. One on the other one. Here we go. That's it. Yep. That's it. The edge is polished, and it's the same as on the front and the back. There are no scratches in, and you can clearly look through it, and it's like the glass, like real glass, polished with a polished edge. And this looks real beautiful on pieces you make. Thank you very much for joining me on my journey to make the perfect edge. You can see a couple of pictures over here how it progresses, and I hope you think you think this is informal for you and useful for projects you want to do in the future. And well, in the spirit of free woodworking content on the internet, well, I encourage you to leave a comment down here, because that's what we live from. And you'll see on my next show for this free woodworking content on the internet, you'll see another 4 amazing woodworkers, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to tell you some thoughts I have about them. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed this one, and it might be a useful tip for your next project.